Imagine a storm that never fades. Not of wind or fire, but of flesh, tusks, and hunger. Across the American landscape, it creeps in silence. Forests crumble, crops vanish, rivers turn to mud. This is not a natural disaster. It's not humanity either. It's something in between, a creature that learned to survive better than us. Each night, they rise from the brushlands like shadows. Each dawn, they leave behind chaos, torn soil, broken fences, fields stripped bare. Farmers wake to footprints, not of men, but of an ancient empire reborn. And yet, amid all this destruction, a strange truth emerges. The very creature blamed for billions in losses each year has become the beating heart of a multi-billion-dollar industry. In this paradox lies the story of our time, a world where chaos becomes currency, and the war between man and nature turns into business. Welcome to Biofrontier, where the boundaries of survival, technology, and greed dissolve into one. Centuries ago, when sails ruled the oceans and maps were still drawn by trembling hands, ships carried not only gold and guns, but life itself. Among the treasures and tools that crossed the Atlantic, one creature hid quietly beneath the decks. The domestic pig. It was never meant to be a conqueror. It was a companion, a walking pantry for hungry explorers. But history, as always, loves accidents. In 1539, Hernando de Soto landed on the shores of Florida, leading his expedition into the uncharted wilderness of the New World. Behind him marched soldiers, priests, and over 300 pigs. They squealed, rooted, and followed, a living promise of food for the long journey ahead. But nature had other plans. Some escaped into the forests, slipping through the mangroves and swamps. They found abundance, food, water, shelter, and no predators strong enough to stop them. Freedom turned them wild, and wildness turned them into something new. From the shadows of forgotten camps, they multiplied, generation after generation. Their bodies grew thicker, faster, more resilient. The gentle farm animal that once served man was now reshaped by nature into an unstoppable survivor. By the early 1900s, European settlers, obsessed with the thrill of the hunt, introduced pure Eurasian wild boars into private game reserves, seeking adventure, not understanding the cost. When those walls broke, the hybrid spread like wildfire through the forests and plains of America. What began as a handful of stowaways had now become an army, a species born not of evolution, but of human ambition and accident. And in the quiet dawns of the southern fields, the earth began to tremble again.
All right, y'all, here's the deal. This is Greg's hog, and this is actually my truck. I've never showed you guys my truck. This is a 2002 Chevy Duramax quad cab, and then I worked with Tim DiTilio, and we built this whole flatbed. Built it just the way I wanted, put a crane on the back.
Time reshapes everything. Rivers carve through stone, storms sculpt the land, and nature rewrites even the creatures we thought we knew. Over centuries, the descendants of those first runaway pigs merged with the Eurasian boars brought later by hunters. The result was something no one had ever seen before. A hybrid species stronger, faster, and far more intelligent than either parent. This was not evolution by chance. It was evolution on steroids, accelerated by abundance, freedom, and time. Within just a few generations, these hybrids grew tusks like daggers, muscles packed with raw power, and a survival instinct that bordered on genius. They learned to move in herds, to outsmart traps, to swim across rivers and even scale fences built to keep them out. They were no longer pigs. They were biological conquerors. Each sow could bear 2 litters a year, with 6 to 12 piglets each time. A single family could explode into a colony of 50 within months. And by the time farmers noticed, The invasion had already spread across 25 US states. No predator could stop them. Coyotes avoided them, wolves perished against their tusks. And even alligators gave way to the herds that moved like tanks through swamps and forests. In every route they unearthed. In every field they devoured. They carved their empire. An empire not of walls or cities, but of chaos. To biologists, they became a paradox of perfection. A self-replicating machine of survival. Adapted to every landscape. Immune to nearly every attempt at control. And yet, in the twisted poetry of nature, their success spelled our failure. Because every time we tried to contain them, we only helped them evolve. This was not the return of the wild. It was the dawn of a new predator. One forged by human hands. At first, it looked like a whisper on the land. A few uprooted crops here, a broken fence there. But whispers grew into echoes. And soon, the echoes became a roar. Across the southern plains of America, fields that once fed millions were torn open overnight. Corn, soy, rice, wheat, gone. Roots shredded, soil overturned, irrigation destroyed. A single herd of wild pigs could erase an entire harvest in a single night. And they didn't stop there. They invaded wetlands, shredded nests, and devoured eggs of endangered birds. They hunted small mammals, destroyed turtle sanctuaries, and polluted rivers with waste so dense it turned water black. Everywhere they passed, life withdrew. The land fell silent, as if nature itself was holding its breath. The numbers became staggering. Over 6 million wild pigs now roam across the United States, costing more than $2.5 billion a year in damage. But money couldn't measure the loss. What they destroyed wasn't just crops. It was the fragile balance of entire ecosystems. In Texas, the earth itself seems alive at night. Infrared cameras capture them moving through farmlands like armies. Hundreds at a time, silent, unstoppable. Their tusks glinting like blades in the dark. No fence is high enough. No trap big enough. No bullet fast enough to end what we started centuries ago. Diseases spread in their wake. Swine fever, leptospirosis, brucellosis. Illnesses that leap from animals to livestock. And from livestock to us. This is not just an agricultural crisis. It's an ecological war. One humanity never declared, but one we are rapidly losing. Because this war isn't fought on battlefields. It's fought in the silence of the night. Beneath the soil. In the places where nature once thrived. And every dawn, as the sun rises over broken fields, we see the cost of our arrogance. A reminder that even the smallest mistake in history can take centuries to undo. In the face of chaos, humanity did what it always does. It adapted. From desperation came invention. And from invention came control. Across the ranchlands of Texas, a new kind of war began. Not with guns or poison, but with algorithms, sensors, and steel. Farmers turned into engineers. Fields turned into battlefields of data. And the hunt for the wild pig became one of the most sophisticated wildlife operations on Earth. High above the plains, drones with thermal cameras sweep through the darkness, mapping heat signatures moving through the brush. On the ground, motion-sensitive traps stand like silent sentinels, connected through wireless networks that whisper to satellites orbiting thousands of miles above. Each time a boar crosses a beam of infrared light, a signal triggers, cameras capture, AI identifies, and within seconds, an automatic gate locks shut. No bullets, no screams. Just a quiet click. The sound of human intelligence reclaiming the night. The data collected from these systems is staggering. Herd size, breeding rate, migration routes, all analyzed, predicted, and visualized. What was once chaos is now a flow of numbers. A living algorithm of survival and control. And yet, behind every glowing screen, every blinking light, there remains a tension, a question unspoken. Because as we perfect the art of trapping nature, nature is quietly learning how to trap us back. Some herds have begun to adapt, avoiding drones, sensing vibrations, outsmarting traps. They move at new hours, travel in smaller groups, as if learning from our patterns, rewriting the rules of the hunt. It is here, in this uneasy balance between machine and beast, that we glimpse the next frontier of evolution. Not biological, but technological. In this war, there are no victors, only survivors. When destruction lasts long enough, someone always finds a way to sell it. What began as a war for survival has quietly become a gold rush. Across Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, the cries of chaos have turned into the rhythm of industry. Hundreds of facilities now process wild boars, animals once considered vermin, now reborn as a lucrative resource. It's a strange form of alchemy, turning invasion into economy. Every part of the animal, flesh, hide, bone, even fat, is transformed into something valuable. The meat, once discarded, is now sold as premium wild pork in high-end restaurants across Europe and Japan. Chefs praise its lean texture, its rich, gamey flavor, a taste that whispers of wilderness, of danger civilized by fire. The hides, thick and scarred, are tanned into rugged leather for boots and belts, fashion pieces that carry within them the story of conquest and survival. Even the bones and organs are rendered into fertilizers, supplements, and biofuel. Nothing is wasted. Every ounce of destruction feeds another chain of creation. This is the new face of agriculture, where nature's chaos becomes commerce, and every fallen creature fuels a trillion-dollar engine of consumption. Some call it sustainability. Others call it the most efficient form of exploitation ever devised. Because in this model, ethics are measured in profit, suffering is converted into data, and extinction into opportunity. Each auctioned carcass, each ton of wild pork shipped overseas, is another reminder that humanity has learned not to stop the storm, but to build an economy inside it. It's a paradox that defines our age. We destroy to survive, then profit from the destruction itself. And so the wild boar, once feared as a pest, now stands at the center of a thriving global network, a machine that feeds on the very chaos it claims to cure. In the end, we didn't conquer nature. We simply redesigned it. From the jungles of Southeast Asia to the plains of America, the story repeats. We tame, we breed, we harvest, until the wild no longer remembers what freedom means. The feral pig was never our enemy. It was our mirror. Every tusk, every footprint in the mud, reflects the same hunger that drives us. To expand, to dominate, to survive at any cost. We built fences, and they climbed over them. We set traps, and they learned to avoid them. We turned them into a product. And in doing so, we turned ourselves into part of the same machine. For centuries, we've believed that intelligence separates us from the wild. But perhaps true intelligence lies in balance, not control. Because every time we rewrite the laws of nature, we also erase a part of ourselves. The wild pig, once an invader, now thrives because of us, feeds us, clothes us, sustains our profit. Yet beneath that success lies an unspoken cost. The cost of forgetting where we came from. The cost of believing that progress means possession. Nature doesn't fight back with rage. It fights back with silence. And in that silence, our machines hum, our drones fly, our data flows, while the earth beneath quietly remembers what we've done. Someday, when the last field is fenced, when the last wild cry fades beneath the sound of engines, perhaps we'll realize we were never fighting nature. We were fighting our own reflection. This is not a story of extinction, nor of victory. It is a reminder that control is an illusion. And the wild always finds its way back.